Good morning and welcome to the tip of the week. Today we're going to talk a little bit about having more direct communication and encouraging that where possible. What I'm beginning to notice the more and more I'm out there doing work is that, folks really are hesitant to address things directly, especially in groups and even one-on-one in some cases. So what tends to happen is the conversations remain fairly superficial, yet there's this sort of tension mounting under the surface, and that elephant, so to speak, continues to grow bigger and bigger and bigger, and it creates this uncomfortable and awkward feeling in the group. So everyone's having this experience, but no one's able to address it. There's good reason for not wanting to have direct communications. First of all, most of us are not taught how to have difficult conversations in a skillful way. So it's a skill that we need to develop ourselves, and it requires commitment and practice. Further, most of us have had situations where we've taken a risk with someone to have a direct conversation and it's gone sideways, it's gotten messy, and feelings have gotten hurt. And a number of things can happen when we do take the risk to name something that's unpopular or to draw attention to something that might be difficult. We're running the risk of becoming unpopular. If it's at work, running the risk of upsetting our boss or our leader, which means taking the risk of our job, losing our job perhaps. And the other thing I see in the community too and in our organization is the risk of perhaps being shunned by the group or becoming that unpopular person. So there's a lot of reasons that we sort of sit on the things that are really, really important to us. So what I recommend is that we need to build trust with each other. And the first thing we need to do is actually talk about why we can't talk. So we need to address our concerns about having a direct conversation. What is it that stops us? What are we afraid of? Are we afraid of reprisal? Becoming that unpopular person, losing our job? That's the first step. What are we afraid of? So being able to say, look, there are things that I want to talk about, but this is what I'm concerned about. What can I count on you for? So the next piece is really to set some ground rules in terms of a conversation. Now, there's two things that I know for sure that are important. It's confidentiality. People need to know that what's said in the room doesn't leave the room, or that it won't be used against us at a later date. That's very, very important. So people need to be reassured that things that are said will not be reused against them at a later date. If people are afraid of that, then they probably won't talk. The second thing is people need to know that they're not going to lose their job, especially if a leader is involved. And the direct communication requires giving feedback to a leader. So leaders, you need to reassure people that you're there to learn, you're there to grow, you want to create a culture of transparency, and if part of that is getting feedback so that you can become a better leader, opening up an invitation to folks for that. And it's okay for you to ask for feedback in the way that you want it. So you can set some ground rules in terms of the way feedback is being given. The next thing that I like to do is ask folks to identify a topic that they'd like to talk about. And a safe way of doing that is getting people to put topics in a hat anonymously and then sorting through them and prioritizing them. This feels safer for people. People are often, even just naming the topic can be very, very edgy for people. So this is a big step in and of itself. Once you've done that, then you can set up that container for having the discussion. You can really slow down the pace, continue to create safety, and invite people to have an opinion on things. And just track and pace the process. As people share, just acknowledge their sharing. People don't need to react to each other, but it's just more important that people actually find their voice within a group. And then time the discussion so that it's half an hour or an hour. And once you've had that time together, stop it and actually debrief what people have learned. What will we do next time differently? What worked? What didn't work? What do we now know about this topic that we didn't know before? So as you go along, and the more and more you encourage people to trust and take a risk, the more people will feel safe to bring up issues directly with each other. They'll see that, wow, we brought up an issue directly together and nothing went sideways. No one got hurt. It wasn't messy. The more and more this happens, the safer people will feel. And actually, even if a conflict does arise in a group, if it's handled well, folks will build their capacity in this area. So it won't be so scary for them. They'll feel confident in navigating a difference of opinion or a conflict. So like with everything, it takes a lot of practice. The first step is just sort of noticing, where do you feel safe or not safe having conversations? And what are the things that you sit on where you feel like you can't address directly with folks, that direct communication? And how do you begin to approach people, or if you're a leader, approach groups about becoming more honest with each other and more direct? And that really is the first question for people is, I want to talk about something with you, but I don't feel safe. What do you need? What do you need in order to have the conversation? Or what do you need in order to bring things directly to me and to give me the feedback that I need? So as always, these things take practice. Go slowly with it and have a great week.